A lot of people have reported that they have so much anxiety about climate change that they have to see a therapist for eco-anxiety, and those therapists have been printing money.
Which is why we started
the World is Ending Eco-Anxiety Therapy Group. The only therapy group that'll tell you you're 100% correct in thinking the world's gonna end when you think it is.
You are valid and you are justified.
You can expect a lot more of that for $200 an hour.
You are not overreacting.
You know other therapists don't even believe the world's gonna end?
You're a goner.
Okay, so a few other climate doomsday theorists have been wrong in the past. Greta, Al Gore, Life magazine when they said we'd be wearing gas masks by 1985.
Your end of times date is correct. Now give us your money.
The money's gonna be burning any day now, so give us your money and then you don't have to burn
You
it.
have a lot on your plate right now. You don't need to add to it by burning money.
For a limited time, we have double eco-anxiety super sessions.
Double the money and double the do.
You're gonna be living in the sea in a day and a half, so cram in those sessions.
Put it on your dad's credit card. By the time he finds out, he'll be dead. We all will.
When Mademoiselle said we'd be gone by 1980, they had to experience feeling unvalidated by their therapist at the time.
But we will confirm that you are a dead woman walking, or gay man.
And you can go back to your dad and tell him your therapist agreed, which is priceless.
And we'll also give you a written note that tells people not to bother you on your final few days on this planet.
If anything, you don't have enough anxiety. That'll be $100.
Stop showering, quit your job, steal, give us your money.
However many days you think you have left, that's how many you have.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The boys. Cast.
Now, Danny, a lot of people say that money doesn't matter. And by a lot of people, I mean me to a homeless guy before I walked into this building.
And how did that make him feel?
That's what I said. I said, listen, it's not going to help you. It's not going to make you happy.
He goes, dude, by the time I give you this dollar, the Fed's going to make the purchasing power of it basically zero. Like, by the time you go convert this for whatever you need, water, food, drugs, it's going to be worthless.
That's so funny to an homeless guy. He goes, listen, buddy, can I have $5? He calls you buddy. He goes, I need $5. And you go, I mean, I'm basically giving you liquid paper, so there's no point. I promise you, buddy, by the time you walk to that store, this is going to be worthless. So why don't I just save us both the trouble? I'd love to give it to you.
Then you could be burning those calories, which you need those at this point. So we're really doing you a favor. You ever see those people who give, they're like the crazy libertarians, and then they have these like fake bills that are like, the American dollar used to be backed by gold. Like it's kind of like an advertisement, but then they like give them as tips to people being like, this is worth on paper, just like your American dollars are.
Yeah, I think
Bring back the gold standard.
I think you were showing me that once.
You're like, but it's like some waitress at a Denny's
Those
gets
are
it.
sick, though,
And they're
actually.
like, but then some waitress at a Denny's gets it, and she's like, I don't know. Like, it's not worth anything.
Well, you need to take it to essentially a place that'll can mine out the gold on
No,
those.
these aren't even the ones that have a little bit of gold
I
in them.
thought
This
that's
is
what you
more
said.
just like, hey, this is what they stole from us.
By the way, people outside I was walking home from the comedy club the other night, and 4 or 5 gay guys, it honestly reminded me of the gay guys in Seinfeld. These 2 gay guys come up to me, and then as I'm walking by, this straight up guy, like there was maybe like 4 of them. One was black, and he's like big gay guy. They had fucking halter tops on, the whole thing. He just looks at me and he goes, oh, hey, handsome. I want to take that sweet ass home. They fucking like...
You got catcalled?
Catcall. It was like legitimately, I thought I was gonna get fucking like thrown in a van. These guys were on my ass, dude. I swear. And I just kept walking. I was literally like covering up my boots.
Yeah. Were you like going to the, like, you'd be like, you need to go watch Barbie. This is the problem with the world right here.
I'm telling you, these guys are getting cocky. That's the moral of the story. The gay guys are like, this is our city right now.
Yeah,
You think you're like a straight guy walking around? Like, we took over these parts.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Mad Max, basically. I'll tell you what else
This
is
Bud Light country.
I know what I yelled back. I go, try that in a small town. And I ran away. I'll tell you, that is one that you want to talk about. Try that in a small town. That is specifically one that you should try that in a small town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cat calling a dude as a gay dude, telling him you're going to take his fine ass home.
Yeah, and like walking into like the high school football game somewhere on
Yeah,
a Friday
yeah.
night in Texas.
Definitely try that in a small town. That's a complete opposite of what you're seeing over there.
Damn.
And then Trader Joe's. Remember I told you a little update because I told you Trader Joe's is out of control. You want to know what they... Okay, remember I told you they had rocks in the falafels.
Yeah.
They had bugs in the cheddar broccoli.
Yeah.
Guess what they had in the pre-made salad? Guess what?
Bugs?
Frogs.
Frogs in the salad.
A full frog someone found in the broccoli, the fucking cheddar salad. They're out of control.
Their quality control slipping over at TJ's.
It's very, very much out of control. So and just because you were in Canada, they're just like, to start it out, we're just doing a couple of these like quick little nuggets of things that have been out of control. Some of our buddies sent this in the group chat too, that not Canadian guys, tech guys, but they were saying like, Canada has essentially, you know how people in most places they're like, oh, we need more homeless, and then they're just kind of like, we should pay for them to be in hotels or like any vacant places, and it's kind of just like a very, juvenile like understanding of like how markets might work and the consequences of those actions. But the new thing in Canada, they were just like, hey, there's all these homeless people and people have extra rooms in their house, and this guy started campaigning being like,
and out east, right,
these guys are sleeping on the street. They go, there's 25,000 extra rooms, and it's like, so they basically are just like, you have an extra room. And it's like, you think that like Trudeau of all people would know. It's like, yes, that extra room is where I sleep when the Bulls working.
When the Bulls at play, I sleep in the old cuck den.
Yes, like, yes, I don't sleep there every day. It's like, and first of all, people that have extra rooms for the most part, it's not just like an actual like extra room set up like a hotel.
Yeah, for sure. It's not like it doesn't have a kitchenette in it. It's just like the other room in your home. Also, I think this has been pretty proven that all these like super bleeding heart people who talk about like taking in migrants, they're like, yeah, they don't want them to stay at their houses.
Yeah, on top
they're
of
like,
that,
they want the government to deal with it. And the government's just like, well, this is becoming a little bit too much for us too.
I know. Well, I like it on the other way, being like, oh,
apparently New York's run out of, like in New York right now, like Adams.
They've given away all the empty hotels.
Yeah, like Adams is at this point being like, the federal government's fucking this up. They're fucking us over. We need to like send them back, build the wall on top of that, and build a wall behind there with fire on it, and then barbed wire because they gotta send them back. No, they've run out of room in New York apparently. New York's full.
Oh, how many? It's not infinite. You know what I mean? But so like you were sort of.
I was just in Canada. Yeah, people are mad in Canada. People are just not happy about stuff in Canada. Like,
how could you be?
Yeah, they're apparently.
Man's is out of control.
Apparently, I was talking to somebody, and I guess actually
you can't look at news.
Healthcare. Well, yeah, one, you can't look at news on Facebook and Instagram, which is insane. Any news, but also people are complaining. They're like, yeah, healthcare has actually gotten like noticeably worse. Where it's actually way harder to
I've heard that. You walk in for a wrist injury and you can finish that for me.
Yeah. Like, have you considered suicide?
I was gonna say, you walk into fucking, you broke your finger, you come out of the clinic without a dick.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. They go, oops, we messed your paperwork up with the.
Well, and 90% of the paperwork is fucking trans surgeries on the hizzy.
Pretty much.
They're giving you. They're pushing the trans surgeries on the hizzy.
Big time. Yeah.
But no, I was just dying because our buddy with all the Trump like indictments, and they're taking down the whole squad, right? They're really trying to clean house with all, and they're giving RICO cases to Giuliani. Our buddy,
and those are the only ones you like can't pardon yourself for apparently. So he can't even pardon his way out of this shit.
Okay, that's
wild. The RICO ones he can't pardon. Yeah,
that's why they're hitting him. So tell me about that in a second. But I was just loving the fact that our buddy was saying that he's messages being like, all this Trump stuff is pretty scary. Like, do you think we're gonna be okay? Like he thought that we might be getting.
Yeah, we might. Yeah. We might get some blowback.
Well, I think the only person that could solve it is the redhead Anthony guy.
Yeah, Oliver Anthony. Maybe he'd have to write the song.
You like that one?
I like that too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You were one of the original guys that
I
was sort of taken down by the psyop and putting that.
Yeah. I love all the stuff coming out being like, everybody's like, this is a psyop. Like, there's no way this could be possible. This is just like a coordinated like attempt or whatever. Some of the stuff is funny. He's like talking
isn't
about like,
anyone trying to be famous a coordinated attempt, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like that guy is just. It's funny because if he had like, I think as it stands as of today, he has 5 of the top 10 songs on iTunes, which is like crazy.
But as you know, all that stuff is like kind of means nothing.
Yeah, it's temporary. Like, because like that's the difference.
We know
Taylor Swift stays there.
We know 45 comedians that had the #1 album.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure. Music is different, but like Taylor Swift will stay there. He'll be gone in a week, and Taylor Swift's song will always be in.
But I think 10. A huge part of it is how much it changes.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. But his thing is like a lot of those songs are like the quality of them is terrible. because he just never recorded anything like in any sort of professional manner.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good song.
You're into that kind of,
I mean, it's like kind of like bluegrass. I like that kind of stuff.
you like that kind of stuff, and you
the
sort of
dobro guitar, and yeah.
I could actually picture you at his concert, like kind of with your shirt off, with, taking your head back and forth, like with your eyes closed. I can picture you listening to him with your eyes closed. That's what I'm saying.
the night I saw it, I actually messaged our boy who's a guitar player for Jelly Roll, and I was like, dude, I'm like, you gotta, like, this guy's blowing up. I'm like, you gotta get him on your tour and just play his song. I'm like, it should probably be like the biggest thing in the world.
Oh, if Jelly Roll just said like, I do a rap verse on his song right now, that would be the move.
Oh, that would be insane. Yeah. But like, it's like, I mean, pretty similar fan base.
On the Patriots, just do a rap about Patriots. By the way, it's like,
but some is, I don't know if you heard the
right wing people are so easy to get on board with anything. Sure. By the way, like, they get any guy that sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you do anything where, like, any music where it's, just alluding to like patriots.
Oh, for sure. His thing more seems like a libertarian, but like he's talking about like people on welfare and stuff who are like milking fat people.
Up for the middle, man.
No, he's like fat people are milking welfare and we need to like stop it and stuff.
I'm back on board.
It's pretty fun. Like some of the lyrics are like pretty talking about like alluding to Epstein's Island. The best thing too was
like he's more
Rolling Stone.
He's
was
more
like,
dark web than
yeah. He's more, but like Rolling Stone had like a thing being like he alluded to Jeffrey Epstein's. This is why it's problematic. He alluded to Jeffrey Epstein's Island, and you're like, so
it happened. Yeah.
It's like it's not a conspiracy anymore. Like this is all pretty open.
They try to put that one back in the box.
Yeah, they're like, why would he do such a thing?
I will say though, when I saw it too, it was interesting watching it all unfold where you're just like, I said as soon as the left-wing blogs pick up that it's bad for some reason, that's when he really skyrocketed.
Oh, that's gasoline.
Yeah,
that's pouring gasoline.
And it was funny watching their takes too, because you can say it's like, it is kind of funny where it's like just anyone that sort of finally there's an artist kind of saying their stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But also on the other side, it was probably more funny watching just like every left-wing people trying to figure out why they don't like them.
For sure. Yeah.
And it was just like, they have to be like, it's the conspiracy guy, like.
Of course, yeah. And I mean, generally, like country music, kind of bluegrass, unless you're like the Dixie Chicks, I think are maybe the only.
No, they're the other way.
Who are like the left.
Oh, they're left wing, yeah.
Yeah, that they like because they hated Bush or whatever and all that stuff.
I'll tell you what.
They just, they hate that.
Well, because they were torn between being like the girl power, and then girl power had to be like anti all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't like the thing. They're obviously giving him the reverse Bud Light treatment, is what I said. Mm-hmm. But it was funny, kind of. The thing that to me, I was kind of like, yeah, it's a good song or whatever. It's not really my type of music or whatever. But the one line where he goes, the miners.
That's the Epstein thing. Yeah, the miners and the miners on
miners is crappy. Because that joke's been made 10,000 times. Right? I remember the LCBO, the beer store, used to have a sign that said, these are the only miners we serve.
Oh, really?
Dude, I got the poster. You remember that? I think I had it at the office for a while.
Maybe. Oh, yeah.
Because it was so fucking corny. Yeah. I was like, I gotta have this poster. And it was 5 different miners, like making the miners joke.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
So, and honestly, to be honest, if you are making the miners joke, you have to say the young miners first, because that's the one that come to mind. Mm-hmm. Like when he said, I wish the people cared about miners, and I'm already thinking like people underage.
No. Well,
it's kind of like when you rap, if you have a weird word, that has to be the word you say first. Like, you know what I mean? Because then it's
well, it seems like, because he's talking about, I guess,
so you have to say the normal
all
word
the people just getting fucked over by the government, essentially. It's just, the whole thing is just like the government's bad, which I can't remember who I saw.
They are.
Where someone was like,
they are bad.
But someone was like, oh, this is so lame. Like, why are like musicians like, writing songs about like culture? Like they shouldn't do this. I can't remember where I saw it, but you're like, I don't know. Isn't it like kind of what Bob Dylan became famous for? Is essentially
we all became famous for.
Yeah.
Like
there were people who were like,
especially.
There were people, and there were people who were legitimately like taking an issue with the fact that like a musician's
mental?
talking about this stuff.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I agree. I was like,
How big would it be if that guy came out and said he's non-binary, though? That would break the internet.
Well, someone
If that guy came out and he was just like, by the way, I'm they, them. Like, that would legitimately just, the internet would turn on its head overnight.
So his YouTube playlist, like, you know how you can have public playlists? So then some person yesterday was like...
YMCA?
No, they're like, I found his playlist and one of the videos he watched was about the dancing Israelis on
I
9/11.
heard people talking about that.
So they're like, sorry, everybody, he's canceled.
Obviously, they're going to find anything to try to cancel that guy. It's going to be hard to
You
cancel
can't
him.
cancel him. He's played one concert at a fucking farmer's market in North Carolina.
Well, cancel him from what? Spotify?
That's what I'm saying. You can't cancel him. He's not on a tour. He has nothing planned.
Yeah.
He played one show this weekend at a farmer's market.
Do you think that guy becomes really famous, or do you think it kind of goes away immediately?
Oh no, he's gonna, because if
Guy's gonna be massive.
Rogan posted his thing, so it's like if he goes on that and he hops on he'll
Take notes, Lizzo.
he'll
Lizzo's getting canceled.
I mean, it struck a
that would
nerve.
be the heel turn for Lizzo to go do a song with what's his name, John Anthony, Oliver something.
Anthony.
If Lizzo wanted to do the real heel turn, she's going. I'm on tour with John Anthony.
She's playing the flute.
Oliver Anthony. She's playing the flute on the day. She brings out some Macklemore when he wore the Jewish costume
the
to dance.
Jewish shows.
He's the dancing Israeli. Well, speaking of which. The Obama stuff is probably my favorite thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah, that's...
Which I'll tell you what, I'm on Obama's side where it's these fucking bitches, man. You can't tell them anything.
For sure. Yeah,
That was in confidence.
Yeah, you can't tell. Never fall for the trap of a woman wanting you to be vulnerable.
I think that's exactly what the lesson to be learned is. Not political. The lesson to be learned is never tell a girl anything that can be used against you in any circumstance.
Never.
It's it's like
You got to give yourself plausible deniability no matter what.
it's Newton's law.
Yeah.
Anything that can be used against you will be used against you in a court of women.
Yeah. Bitches be trifling.
Yeah, they do be trifling.
Do be trifling.
But if it is true, the stuff that he said is like, well, the best part is because it was basically, I'll just read the first little part of it. But in a letter, 21-year-old Mr. Obama, in regard to homosexuality, said, I must say that I believe this is an attempt to remove oneself from the present, a refusal perhaps to perpetuate the endless farce of earthly life. You will see, I make love to men daily, but in the imagination. Which he's basically saying nothing gay about that kind of thing, right? It's kind of, it's the I'm not touching you of being gay, right?
Yeah, he goes, yeah, I'm thinking about fucking a guy right now.
I'm thinking about my dicks in your ass right now in my imagination. What are you going to do about it?
I'm thinking about being a power bottom as we speak. How does that sound?
And his sort of the underlying thing is there's nothing really gay about it, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, this was he was 21? So I imagine this would have been like in the 80s, maybe?
Well, he goes, how would you consider gay? It's like you have sex with men. He goes, well, explain to me how I'm that.
He goes, okay, do you get aroused from that, though?
No, that's the thing. He's not even aroused about it.
He's like, there's no actual men. Like, are there?
It's an intellectual exercise for him. He's just sort of like sitting there, super soft. You know what I mean? He's like, he doesn't even enjoy it.
He goes,
He's just,
look at. He goes, doesn't even move. He's just thinking.
yeah, I'm banging a guy as we speak. I'm
gay stuff.
I'm not even soft in the dream. I'm just sitting here. Guy's fucking. He's giving it to me, so I don't have to be hard, and I'm not aroused at all.
His African cousin was not too pleased about this.
Obama's family members are incredible.
Well, he just has the one, I think.
No, because he has a brother too.
Oh, that's the guy. His brother. It's like his half brother or whatever, who's like from like Africa or something.
Yeah. Okay, he has a few. I thought there was
Basically
a couple.
Just called them like tweeted. We just called him the F word.
Well, there's one because and he called him a snob. He said he's a snob that he doesn't want to hang out with anyone anymore or whatever, right?
He changed.
He's too busy with his elites on Epstein's Island, is what he's saying, right?
Yep.
But the brother, he was calling him the F word.
Yep.
Fun because he also likes it, but he the brother basically was like a huge Trump guy, right?
Yeah.
And he would post all these photos when Obama was president with him with like the MAGA hat and stuff. But
is it gay?
Listen,
That's the question.
No, that's what he says. He's kind of saying, he goes, hey, come here, you little twink. Can you do an Obama impression?
No.
Well, I don't want to say because he's very formal about everything, right? So he's like, I'm bending him over as we speak, and you can't. Can you do better than that? I'm bending him over right now. Another guy just entered the room. Just a couple guys having some fun right here, taking off my shirt, and he is having a fun time.
Oh, it's Michael. I mean, Michelle just walked in, and
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
It's not clear if he was referring to his sexual fantasies about men or merely making a point about engaging intellectually. So it's not really that.
I want to
clear
know what
them.
this chick's up to, though. Why is this coming out right now?
That's what I'm saying, man.
She got a book. That's crazy. You fucked Obama 40 years ago, and you go, you know what? I'm going to try and cash in on this now by like a tell-all book.
She is trying to cash in.
And did you do anything other than just like have sex with this dude 40 years ago?
She is 100%.
Isn't that amazing that you could be as a man so powerful that if a chick just banged you 40 years ago, there's something there.
That's a clout that you touched his dick 40 years
Yeah.
ago. And this
When he
girl's
was a nobody.
And this girl's got the perfect memory of what happened. You know what I mean?
Of course. Definitely no. That letter must be valuable, though, if he wrote it.
Well, if she has the letter, release the letter.
We'll put it up for auction.
She doesn't
we can
have
all bid on
nothing,
it.
man.
We need more merch for the thing.
If Obama was smart, he would come out and say, yeah, I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, I think he's probably just like, I'm not even.
Oh, I just become
You ain't hearing shit from me, bud.
I don't think he's going to. I think these things stick with him, though. Like, he needs to at least, like,
He's already
laugh
been
it off and be
president
like,
twice.
Yeah, that's not true.
He's on his third term.
I don't know. Big Mike's been really gaining steam lately.
I know. I got pissed a lot of people off because I had some clip about someone called in and they were like about that, and there's like a video of Michelle Obama dancing on Ellen, and like it looks like her balls are flapping in her pants or whatever, and a lot of people were really mad on it, like because it like hit like the algorithm on like some shorts or whatever. So like people who were like, I have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. See this and like, you animals.
There's a pretty good back one for the dudes. Facebook's black market sperm industry exposed. Wannabe moms too poor to afford $30,000 IVF have been lured into having unprotected sex or forced to meet men. First, they weren't forced.
Yeah, they were
forced to meet men online.
It was a transaction.
Forced to meet men online in parking lots to swap semen samples. So, but the thing is, so basically, all these girls, they want to have a kid and it's 30 grand, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened was a lot of dudes basically started infiltrating these groups where there's like, 100 women that are trying to get like discount served.
They're literally undercutting.
They
go like, hey, you can go to this clinic or I could just give it to you.
Well, that's how it's obviously there's that, but more importantly, all the dudes are basically telling the girls like they don't want to do it in a jar. I've got to actually bang you.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys have like hacked the system. It's like obviously a bunch of guys figured out. Like, can you imagine if you were like 20 and you and your boys were like, yo, I guess you got to give them the sperm and then you have to have a kid with them. So
well, you're not having a kid with them because one of the guys in the article was like has had, I think it was like 90 kids or something.
So yeah, you have to
you get some sort of you sign away some sort of rights where you're like, you're not coming back at me.
But these guys figured out a way to like bang all these chicks, and the girl comes over to the house.
Yeah.
They bang the chick, and then you basically get your pick of the litter because you look at all the girls and you're like, I could donate some sperm.
Yeah,
to her.
I think they're all gross.
Why?
Because I think they're all lesbian couples. I don't think you're getting like, because no dude is like wanting
some of these
wife
girls,
to get banged.
some of these hoes out there just want to have like a single kid nowadays. They don't even fucking need a man. They just want to find some guy on the internet to just.
They don't need no man except for some guy to come in a parking lot and just.
When desperate to have children, it's also funny just telling two lesbian chicks like, yeah, I definitely can do that. Like, so which one are you hopping on it? And be like, well, you're not going to put it in the jars. Like, I'm allergic to jars.
Yeah, you both want to maybe take it. Just do 2 sessions, just in case. Just one of them doesn't work.
So some of these guys have like cracked the code. You are right that there's a bit of a scab component, which is hilarious. But dude, that's a friggin' like a business idea that you start like an undercutter's sperm donation.
But these guys seems like they're doing it for, I guess not for totally free. But one guy is mailing them, and like he's just mailing jizz all over the country.
The guys that they're mailing around, they're running a legitimate operation. But I'm more concerned about the guys that are forcing the girls to just come over to their house and they force them to smash. Not force, sorry.
Not forcing, yeah.
No, there you go. An increasing number of parents are turning to the group, but these often come with demands. Many men are only agreeing to natural insemination or partial insemination, where the man masturbates first and then just penetrates on the last little bit. So he goes sort of a reverse pullout.
All right. That seems medical. Like, that seems like a medical procedure.
I think you're going. You go, listen, I'm just a natural guy. That's how I'm doing stuff. You know, if you're in my house, you can do it the way I want to, or you can, I mean, if 30 grand, you want to pay 30 grand, you pay 30 grand.
I mean, if you just have a 30 grand burning a hole in your pocket.
You have 30 grand kicking around. I don't know why you're at my house. Why are we even having this conversation?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you would get STDs and stuff. I don't see why you wouldn't test these people, though.
Well, basically, you go in and he goes, yeah, the guy explains the package. Like, listen, so I'm about $200. You come to my house. If you want to do it after 2 a.m. on a Friday night, it's a half price special.
Who are you weirded out more by? The guy that's willing to, he's like, don't even want to meet. Just give me your address. I'll send it to you on ice. Send you the jizz with like a syringe and gloves and
little
everything.
bow on her.
Or the guy who's like wanting to meet up. But like the guy with the syringe has done it like hundreds of times. And then the guy who wants to meet up is like, I'm just testing the waters here.
I think the guy that needs to do it naturally is, I guess, creepier, but also that guy's such a funny dude, especially if you picture him like, you know, fucking like a creepy Indian dude or something. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Or like just like a really fat, like incel type dude.
They posted the resume of one of them. Like, cause like guys post their resumes.
I guess because the girls want like sperm of a smarter guy kind of thing.
Yeah, but the one guy who the resume they posted,
You fake. That's a funny resume to fake.
Yeah, of course.
You chat GPT a fake resume for your sperm donation.
The one guy was 280
It says
pounds.
you were a rocket scientist and the president.
You know, you probably have a good chance that your kid will be one of those two things. So
Yeah, I'm a prof. It's basically like, yeah, the buddy that at the bar just with all the lies. He's like, yeah, it's like I almost went to the show. Almost went to the show, and then I just had a knee injury, but then I went on to run a big business, lost some, ended up just giving the money away, lost the business, and now I'm a rocket scientist.
yeah, no, yeah, that's. I mean, there is something about having. I don't know how I feel about having like if you knew you had 200 biological children out there.
I think you just have to let it go. I think people are able to let things go. It's weird.
I don't know. I just think it would be kind of cool, I guess. It's almost like a crazy experiment.
You think it'd be cool? A bunch of weird little Dannies running around.
Well, wouldn't I'd be more interested from the experiment thing of like how many like
fun experiment for you to
how many of them turn out exactly like you, you know, even though you're not raised by them and you're not in their life, they have your genetics.
Well, there is a lot of
what percentage of them? It's probably going to be higher than zero.
A lot of musicians have run that experiment.
Good point. A lot of basketball players.
I think that guy from the band, a lot of basketball players are currently running that experiment.
Anthony,
so you can check on their data of what it's like.
Sure.
Nick Cannon's trying to run that experiment currently.
Sean Kemp.
Gonna take a quick second to tell you about Factor meals. This is something I've been using non-stop with the busy fall season just around the corner. You might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can fuel you up with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. So that's one of the best things I like about this is that it is a lot of healthy options. They have protein options, whatever you're looking for.
Smoothies are money.
The smoothies are money.
Money.
Exactly. And there's variety, so you take the thinking out of it, but you keep healthy and without wasting a bunch of your time.
It's like literally 2 minutes.
It's a couple minutes, you're in and you're out. Too busy with the end of summer goals to cook, but you want to make sure you're eating well with Factor. You can skip the extra trip to the grocery store, and you definitely want to skip that trip to Trader Joe's, folks. You heard it here first. And the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you got to do is heat it up, enjoy, then you get back to crushing your goals. Refresh your healthy habits without missing a beat. Choose from 34 plus weekly flavor-packed, dietitian-approved meals ready in 2 minutes. So listen, if you're looking for calorie-conscious options ahead of the busy season, try delicious, dietitian-approved, calorie-smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. If you need an extra boost to support your wellness goals and feel your best for the rest of summer, you can try the Protein Plus meals with 30 grams of protein. So round out your meal and replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 45 plus add-ons, including breakfast items like delicious apple cinnamon pancakes, yum, bacon and cheddar egg bites,
Ooh.
and potato, bacon, and egg breakfast skillet. Or for an easy wellness boost, try refreshing beverage options like cold-pressed juices, shakes, and smoothies, which are Danny approved.
Yes, love them.
So as we're moving into the fall season, you're busy, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes. No prep, no mess, no wasted time. Head to factormeals.com/boyscast50 and use the code boyscast50 to get 50% off. That is the code boyscast50 at factormeals.com/boyscast50 for 50% off. Sort of on this topic, the boxing fights, because we were sort of talking about it last week. I don't know if you've been seeing how Logan Paul and that Dylan Dennis guy. Dylan Dennis is
Trolling the
basically
shit out of him.
he's promoting that fight by just posting about how the guy's his girlfriend's a hoe like nonstop.
Yeah.
And he dug up photos of her everywhere.
Yeah.
He's if you actually watch him in press conferences, it's kind of weird because he's sort of like a low key guy. So he's just like, just gonna go in there, give it my best shot, sort of like what a bunch of dudes have been doing to his girlfriend. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna get in the ring. And speaking of rings, like he put a ring on a total fucking slut. Like, dude, he posts a new. I don't even know how he found him. He found a photo with her with every guy in Hollywood,
Yeah,
basically.
I know.
And she does really look. And it starts to. Some of them you don't even know if she actually banged him or not. She finds photos of this dude with just like the scruffiest dudes.
Yeah. Just maybe they met him, but yeah, she got a lot of. I mean, that's a good psychological thing.
But he's not liking it.
Who?
Logan Paul is sending him cease and desist. I think it's too hot for him.
Oh, this isn't Jake Paul. This is Logan Paul.
No, so Logan Paul's basically, he doesn't really like the heat like that. He sort of likes to appear that he likes the heat.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
well, he's like wrestling.
No, he boxes and stuff. He does all of it. I don't know. Wherever whatever can make money, that's where you'll find Logan Paul, right?
Right.
But basically, he sent a cease and desist to Dylan Dennis, being like, this has got to stop. And then Dylan Dennis kind of like just kept doing it more. And he's like, you can cancel the fight, but you'll look like even more of a bitch if you cancel the fight because the guy's talking too much shit about your wife. It doesn't really like, you're like, the guy called your wife a slut, so you canceled the fight. Like, wouldn't you want to beat him up more? I don't know. He's kind of in a rock and a hard place.
I mean, it's a good strategy by Dylan Dennis.
He sort of got his nuts in a vice right now.
I mean, his home life must be terrible, having to deal with just these new things popping up every day.
Terrible.
He's
man.
just like, him? You fucked the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys? Like,
I 100% guarantee that he's getting into it like that, not a happy camper. You can't have that not affect you just like,
No.
he's
That's
getting like Will Smith treatment almost
very
right now.
shrewd psychological move.
But,
Yeah, they're gonna. I mean, I guess we'll see. When are they supposed to fight? Soon.
I don't know. I don't know if it's happening or not because he's so worked up about it.
Such a baby. He's such a baby. He can't fight.
Okay. I'm not going to play a clip of it, but actually,
By
I'll
the
play
way,
one.
if Sam Bankman-Fried's watching, I'll challenge you to a fight.
I'm going to play one little clip of this because it's just been super funny what's been happening with the Snow White movie.
Her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. Cast a guy in the movie. Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
If I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I think
That's enough, but
Yeah.
it's honest to God, these actors, I bet you are getting, like, everyone in like high places at Hollywood is getting pretty fucking sick of these actors like just destroying
Yeah,
the
you're
property.
like, yo, shut up. Just
Well,
be in a fucking movie.
But a huge part of being an actor is like your box office numbers, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why people always say, why do girls get, paid less than men? And a lot of times it's because those dudes do big box office numbers. And probably a huge part of some of it is that they're good at doing the press tour, right?
Absolutely.
So this girl, they finished the Snow White tour and she's literally going around doing a press tour to tank the movie, being like, if you're a man,
Yeah.
have they not learned from Barbie? Because the thing is, I think a lot of these people are looking at Barbie and being like, yeah, the model is like outraged for success, but that's not what really Barbie did. They kind of
There was no outrage before. It was like they just had all these. There wasn't really a lot of outrage.
no, you have to
before.
rewrite history. She's too stupid for this. She's trying to say Snow White. She was like, the story was so bad and patriarchal, and Snow White's the worst. I dislike Snow White. That's why they had to change it into this like new thing that's a story about how women are great
And why all the dwarves are 7 feet tall.
Yeah, what she needs to do is they just rewrite history and just say Snow White was always that.
Yeah.
Snow White is such an empowering tale. And, the original Snow White I really connected with. Like, that's what they say. Barbie was always the bad bitch. Like,
Yeah.
you don't fucking shit on the franchise. Like, you don't make Fast and Furious 9 and be like, the reason this Fast and Furious movie is going to be good is because the other 8 were so shit. They were doing it completely different now. So it's like everyone that wants to watch it will be like, okay, I'm out.
Right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know what the hell what this chick's
But
talking
I honestly think this kind of shit is probably going to be the end of these actors having free reign of press tour. Like, it's going to be, going back to press training, and the press training is going to be like, yeah, none of this shit.
These are the things you're allowed to say. Don't say these
or
things.
you don't get cast in the movie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that kind of is almost understood, where you're like, look, like, you know.
Hey, you're trying to sell the movie,
like,
not fucking tank
I don't
it.
know who this chick is. Like, is she famous from anything else? Or is this like kind of her big break?
Dude, I don't know. I don't think obviously she's an actress or whatever.
Yeah, but like,
I don't think her name was like in the public consciousness like it is now. And then, so this is the thing. She's been going on like a press tour about like how men are the worst and the whole ball of wax, right? Everything you can imagine. And then obviously people are just like, what is this weirdo doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're just trying to tank the movie. And then she's making videos crying, being like, you know, people are talking trash to me online. It was like, because you're telling them they're the worst.
Yeah, for sure. And you're
what the fuck? And I think that it really did feel like a turning point again with me over, like, there's always notches of turning points.
You were on Team Barbie before this?
Sorry? Excuse me?
You were on Team Barbie?
I think that people were watching that shit, and it was like almost, I think even girls were like, yo, shut up. It's like you're making us look like losers.
Yeah.
You're like, this is what guys think we are. And I've been trying to say that, no, I'm not just a girl that's like sounds like a college kid and I'm annoying all the time and you don't want to work with me. It's like, I feel like a lot of girls right now are like working to like get rid of the reputation that you're going to be a pain in the ass to be around.
Because they made it so much ground up. So now they're like, okay, let's like bring it in a bit and let's take advantage of all like the...
Yeah, and this girl's being like a caricature. I mean, it would be the same if you had like I think that if there was like a right-wing movie, if that Oliver Anthony guy, they made him famous, and then he went on and he was like, first of all, they got to get blacks out of our country.
Of course, yeah.
Everyone would be like, come on, dude. Like, we're trying to fucking...
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you go, we wanted you to be our guy. And,
yeah, now you're making us look like...
You're making us look bad.
You're making us look stupid.
For sure. Yeah.
Where if you're you go, hey, this is going to be our new feminist movie. Like Margot Robbie, at least probably went on and sort of being cute and it like, you know, if you liked Barbie, like, oh, nostalgia. This girl's kind of going on and being like, hey, oh, you liked Snow White as a kid? Well, you're an idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot. And they already started off on a bad foot because the photos got released of the
fucking dwarves.
And then at first they were like, those aren't actually photos from the set, and then they had to go back and say they actually are photos from the set.
Well, this has been a botch job of epic proportions. Of like, this has been a master class on how to not promote a thing.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe I don't even know good. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
it doesn't
honestly,
come out for a while.
At the very least, they're playing with fire because I feel like Hollywood executives know that like once that boycott hits, and then the boycott hits China too, because the China sort of hits the boycott. You know, other markets. You know, like if China sort of gets wind that Americans are like, you don't want your daughter watching this film, like that shit sort of takes off.
Yeah, I think Barbie just got banned in some country.
Really?
Algeria, I think, because it
what was the reason?
Promotes homosexuality.
Ken?
Just the movie.
It does sort of promote homosexuality.
Yeah, so all those countries that are not down with that.
Well, there was some dudes that were saying that they're girls that were like posting online saying like I broke up with my boyfriend after watching Barbie and all this shit. It just shows you how brainwashed girls are.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
If you watch a movie and then like one chick was basically saying that her boyfriend wouldn't wear pink with her.
Exactly.
Like, how fucking whipped do you need that guy to be? You're like, I can't, it's not enough that I go to the movie with you. I have to wear bright pink.
Right. So I think that your average girl, like dudes as a unit have sort of said like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit anymore. I think most dudes, if you go on like one date with a girl and she starts like yapping about all this fucking nonsense,
yeah,
that's the equivalent of a girl probably like, you know, going on a date with a guy and he talks about video games the whole time and she's like, yeah, not going to be doing this again.
Yeah,
you know
of course. But in the guy's case, you pretend like you're into that stuff for the remainder of the evening.
Right, exactly.
Girl's not going to pretend like she's into video games.
For the remainder of the evening, try to hit it.
Yeah.
But if you go on a date with a girl and she starts going on about how fucking men are the problem and all this sort of stuff, like, but yeah, I think that this girl's doing like a master class on how to fucking be annoying.
Yeah, I wonder if Disney's even allowed to do much because of the strike. Like, I don't know how much the communication they're allowed to have on this. Because there's a lot of rules around like all press you're allowed to do and all this shit.
With all the strikes and stuff, like if you're a Hollywood executive, you must be so fed up with these fucking ladies.
Yeah. The funniest thing is you see all these like networks right now and they're coming out and they're like, yeah, the strike is actually like we just freed up so much cash flow and like all this money and like the strike's been great for us so far.
Because no one's canceled anything.
Well, and also
it would be like if we kept our Patreon going and then
they're not
didn't
paying
do it and then didn't make anything for 8 months.
Exactly.
And it didn't change all that much.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we have all this money coming in. Like like nobody's canceling Disney Plus or whatever.
That's such an interesting
or whatever.
point
So they're like,
know.
for currently, they're like, as it stands, they're like, are kind of flush with cash because we're not paying anybody. Obviously, at some point, that's going to be an issue, but.
That's such an interesting point.
I mean, and I'm sure the fact that I'm even talking about this is a negotiation tactic from them as well, for them to like get it out there, being
We're
like, "Hey,
crushing it.
we're killing it.
We're killing it more than
It's like
ever."
you break up with whatever, and then you're just like living life and having the best life, but you're actually at
You don't
one of
know
those,
how
like,
bad I'm
you're
killing
actually
it.
at one of those like Instagram stores in the mall where you like go into like a fake jet and take a photo, and you're like, it's actually not going great.
You know what was making me laugh with all the AI stuff, speaking of, that's been like going on? Just the idea of like, imagine like guidance counselors like could go into the future. Like imagine going back in time to like watch a guidance counselor being to someone like, listen, like obviously you're like dancing, but like you're not actually, gonna go pro, so you're not gonna get a scholarship. So the dancing thing's obviously gonna be a hobby because you're not good at dancing. You're not gonna make a career. Like, and obviously video games can't be a career. Like just telling just telling the students all the things like, you want to go get a degree so you can be in journalism.
Yeah,
like, that's
you
a good
like
degree.
work at a newspaper. It's just something that is just won't go away.
Just the amount of shit that they were fucking completely wrong about.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's why with this diversity stuff, probably the one that bothers me the most is the actors. It's always like a famous Hollywood actor that her life's easy bothers me. But really, what annoys me the most is when you see anyone over 50 campaigning for that shit because it doesn't affect pretty much over people over 50.
Of course.
So it's like anytime I see anyone like they're
just trying to hang on at that point. Like it's like if you think about it from purely strategic standpoint, you go, yeah, that is the thing you should be doing. If you're the old white guy at some institution that like you should be being like, oh yeah, we're bad. Let's all the new people cannot look like me. I do want to stay though until I retire, obviously, and I do not want to be ousted. But yeah, all the new people,
scummiest human,
of course.
Pull the ladder down from under you is the ultimate and scummy bag.
I mean,
human.
people just care about themselves. That's all you need to know about.
Which is fine, I guess. But there's nothing that makes me more like miffed than people that only like are doing the most selfish thing and pretending they're doing the least selfish thing.
The most like altruistic thing. And you're like, shut the fuck up.
And you're like, yeah, you're doing the most selfish thing imaginable at this time.
Yeah.
I will also say that I was watching like a thing that had Stephen King in it or whatever. And it kind of, people always talk about separating the art and the artist. I really do have trouble watching like. And I would say this about like J.K. Rowling's too, right?
Yeah.
There is a sort of common wisdom before that, with an actor or like a writer or something like that. You're sort of like creating a world and telling a story, and those things are like hard to do, right? And the more people know your personality, the less you're able to do that. I mean, that's why a lot of comedians know that, you sort of, you need to be like, that's why sometimes you're satirical. I mean, podcasting changed that a little bit, but like a lot of times comedians would be like, I don't really want people to know my opinions on it. Or I don't want to be like a public figure where people know my wife. Cause when I'm talking about like my wife, like it changes the whole dynamic. If you know what she looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If she's famous, like, I've seen that. Like we have comedian friends that have like, wives that are, or like girlfriends that are like kind of public figures, and they're like, oh, I'm fucking this and the wife, and you're just like you're picturing it now, and it's too much information.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of these people that just got so big, and a lot of them haven't had another big hit.
What was the Stephen King thing you were watching?
I can't remember, but
you were watching like a movie, or he was doing
an interview in some doc thing. I can't remember, but I just saw it, and it was hard to care what he thinks because it was like he was kind of making a nuanced point, and you're like, Okay, but like I know that you're a psychopath that like thinks all that, you're like a psycho anti-Trumper dude.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nuts. So it's like you're either like lying here and this isn't what you really think, or you're lying there. Whatever it is, it's like it's hard. I don't care what you. So and J.K. Rowling's, I guess, if she made like a book now, it's like you kind of by making yourself such a public figure, you sort of remove your ability to tell these like enchanting stories, so to speak.
Well, I guess the difference maybe is like kids are more into that, so they don't even really care so much with Harry Potter. I don't know. I do.
But the separating the art from the artist thing, it really is. I think the answer is like it depends on what your art is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're making songs like that are completely detached from culture, it's like, I don't really care that much. But if you're making music or like if you're trying to make like nuanced points on America or whatever, and I know everything you think about everything, and it's like psycho. It is like,
I mean,
hard for me
that
to
definitely
listen
happened to that dude from the IT crowd, or like that show, and that guy Graham Linehan.
Okay.
He just had a show canceled at Edinburgh Fringe yesterday. He's just like a hardcore anti-trans activist, but he's just like this comedy writer from the UK who's like been behind like some of the biggest shows ever.
Okay.
And he just is like, I don't think he's probably fairly left wing except for this like one thing, which makes him like alt-right to all these people. And they're just like, it's one of the biggest, like these huge British shows, like Father Ted was one of them, and all these people are like, it's just like ruined for me, like I can't. And he had a show that got canceled like at Edinburgh Fringe, comedy or whatever, and they just were like, just because he was on it, and he's like one of the most like famous British comedians.
That's
huge.
Well, that's getting canceled.
That's getting canceled, I guess. But he has his shows, but I think a lot of people complain. They're like, I can't watch the shows anymore, just knowing that he wrote them. They're like, I can't watch them because he just was like so.
Well, I have it sometimes with comedians that they're so like, even Seth Rogen. It's like, he's sort of like, do you know that meme where it's like the guy with the mask and then they're angry underneath? Yeah. It's like as soon as you see someone like be like angry all the time online, and you're just like, well, I know you're like an angry guy, and then you're like coming, you're trying to be like fun and making jokes and stuff like that, and you're just like, okay, so I know this is like an act right now, and it's like, I guess we all sort of know everyone's acting, but you're able to like just suspend belief, but it's like I need to. There's this case, I know for a fact that like you're not a fun guy.
Actually, one of the funniest Seth Rogen things that I saw recently was he has like, I don't know if it's like an interview, but it's kind of like it's some show he has coming out with or it's an interview, but it's with Bill Gates. I'm just like, that's so funny. Like, so it's just like certain people are so annoyed by you, and then you're now like palling around with Bill Gates.
It's a pretty funny move.
Well, that was great.
The Mosquito King. Bill Gates it's just funny to think how him having to explain the Epstein's Island things to his wife, and just being like, and Ghislaine was there. He's like, Ghislaine, right, Ghislaine. Like he just, why'd you have to keep going back? He's like, honestly, well, the first couple times I went, the weather was bad, so we kind of just played
and then I
board
left
games
my wallet there a few times. And you know how pain it is to get your wallet back. Sometimes it was like in the cushion the first time, and then I left it there again. It just happens.
And then we had sort of a bet. We wanted to play some pickleball, but the problem was the court was sort of full, so I never really got around to it. So then, and we put a bet on the line, so I had to go back to finish the pickleball game.
How much I hate losing money.
And then why'd you go back the next time? It's like, okay, honestly, I got to tell you this, but he had a fantastic recipe for chicken mahalala. And he was going to tell me, and I realized on the plane, he'd never told me the chicken mahalala recipe.
And I was like, you got to make it for me. I don't even know. I can't do it justice.
I can't do it justice, so I had to go back. He had to show me the recipe. So what am I supposed to do?
That is weird, though, like with the list, because, I saw someone release the list, the Epstein list, and, there's all these famous people on there, and like, those people just like hang out with people, like one of the guys is Robert Kraft, the guy who owns the Patriots, and like people just like hang around with people who are just like on these lists, and they're just like they just have to pretend like they're not. Right?
I guess you don't know I guess their idea is like, also that's where his office was, and I went to do business, right? And then they were like, but other stuff, and their take is all, and then they were like, hey, do you guys want to have the real fun? And I said no.
Yeah.
I said I went back to my quarters and I read the Bible.
Sure. That is just odd. You find yourself in like a box at like some event. Some like 4 people who have been on Epstein's client list, and you're just like,
Well, I mean, if I was being on their side, it's like, it is possible. It's obviously possible that we went to Epstein's Island and smashed kids.
Yeah, of course.
It's probably not. You're
mean,
acting like it's right off the plane. Every
No.
single time.
I don't think so. I'm sure there are people who went who didn't do that stuff, but you're just like, man, you're on the list.
You're saying Bill Gates was knee deep in children the minute he got out there.
I'm sure he did something that was untoward.
Well, you're saying Bill Gates, he started talking about his mosquitoes. He started getting into mosquito quotes. And Dalai Lama once said, if you ever think you're small, trying having sex with a mosquito.
And he goes, that's all right.
And he goes, you know what else is small that I could have sex with?
And then Jeffrey Epstein goes, Ghislaine, bring them out.
He just has kids dressed as mosquitoes. The Bill's ultimate fantasy. He goes, everything to make sure. And then just like 3 crying kids come out.
Like what? Like if you're, say, like Bill and Hillary Clinton, and I'm sure they watch the news and like they watch the news and that comes up. Like, did they change the channel?
Great question.
Do they like? They go,
I think it doesn't
they go,
come
Jeffrey
out.
Epstein is Ghislaine like in his bill like, oh, let me see what's on Fox or Sports.
I think it's sort of probably like when you ever been with a girl you're dating and like a sex scene comes on and it's just like a little weird.
Yeah.
Because you're always is a little
'Cause you're
weird. It's like
gay?
you just sit.
It's a little weird because you're gay.
Because she'll be like, we should do that. And I was like, yo, definitely one day.
Oh, once I get the stomach for it.
One day I might. And then you go, you put the fake mustache on her. Once I build up the stomach for that, I would love to.
I would love to.
We should try that one day. It's like for sure. I'll put it on the calendar. Schedule that in. I love that.
That would be great. It's so fucking hot.
I'd love doing that. Yeah, we should do that where you're pegging me. Yeah. So, but you're watching and it's just sort of like a bit of an awkward. Sometimes it's not, but sometimes it's just like, okay, I guess should we have sex? Like, I don't know. You just sitting there watching 2 people have sex. Is just something's off about it to
Right.
me anyway.
Yeah.
I'm more of a fucking player than a participator.
Sure.
You probably enjoy it. You comment on the guy saying these good work.
He must work out.
Probably what you do. Most
I'd
likely.
like to know his workout routine.
You comment on other things, so whatever. Or watching with your parents is probably even more obviously the real awkward one, right?
But they must watch the news. They must.
But I
watch
think
a
it
lot of
feels like
mainstream
that
news.
for a thing. He sort of says he's like, that comes on. He's like, oh, the Cheetos are out.
Yeah. But also, there are the
let me
news.
get a refill on these Cheetos. You want a granola bar, Hillary?
There almost are like the news outlets where that shit's never gonna come up. Like if you watch like MSNBC,
That's what I'm saying. They watch
I think
the news.
they watch the ones where they know like we have a deal with them and they just never bring this
He
up.
probably, what we're forgetting is he probably has a man on the inside that's like, he
course.
texts Bill like, yeah, I skipped the 50 to 55 section of Hills around.
No, it's not skip it. Bill calls. He goes, "Hey, don't worry. They were going to bring it up, but I had them just remove it from the copy."
No, but maybe Bill doesn't care. Like he's just like, more allegations of Bill having sex come out or whatever, and he's just like, just a heads up, like if Hill Dog's there, like he has like bros on the inside.
Yeah, right. Like the Secret Service or whatever, like accidentally like lock her out for like she's coming in, and like they go,
The firewall. Our internet seems to be down. Yeah, exactly. Anytime they were going to run a story about how Bill was like getting it in this,
or it's like like the Secret Service guy gets like a little like in his ear and goes, "Oh, Hillary, you're looking lovely today. What's that perfume you're wearing?"
Yeah.
Like just stalling. While it's on.
exactly. So I think that's what happens potentially. I tell you, we mentioned this eco-anxiety stuff in our intro, but we're going to go through it for a second just to see how fucking nuts people are. So eco-anxiety is an issue that's prevalent in apparently mostly like Gen Z, right? And they have all these therapists and 16 to 25-year-olds, they did a study and 2 in 3 of them said it makes them feel sad and afraid. 45% of fucking people this age said that climate interrupts their daily lives. So daily they're stressing about this. And my guess would be women and like guys that were basically women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's so crazy that there's legitimately a fucking 50% of people that age are just like, I can't get it through the day because all I'm thinking about is how I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And it's like, they started being like, some of them saying like, I couldn't even figure it out since 3rd grade. I've been stressed about this stuff. And it was just like, the obvious answer is like, Yeah, because you've been brainwashing them saying that they're going to die since
Of course,
third grade.
freaking you out and you're weak in your
if
brain.
your parents are in a cult, you're obviously going to be stressed out about your doomsday as well.
Oh man, they must have been loving it too. About like, I remember like a month and a bit ago when it was so hot everywhere, and they're like, the world is the
That must have been
hottest.
fucking
And they go,
D-Day for
see,
them.
and then, but like since then, that was like probably almost 2 months
Back to
ago or something.
normal.
It's just been pretty normal. So if anything, it's been a little chilly.
Exactly. It was a
Yeah.
little chilly the
And
last
then they're
week.
like, this doesn't really confirm their.
Oh, these people, there's a whole genre of TikTok where all they do is just like stress about fucking how they're going to die and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
This TikToker says she had an hour-long panic attack because of climate change. So it's like, this is real psychopaths, right? And they find each other too,
A
right? 'Cause
full hour?
they honestly, I don't even know what you do for a full hour.
What's an hour-long panic attack? You're just like,
We're dead. I'm dead. I'm
Oh.
dead meat. Literally crippling climate change anxiety since third grade. The saddest comment of all. Every time I think about my future, I get a feeling of dread and anticipation because I simply don't think we're going to survive that long. So, you know what? All these fucking psychopaths that have been all on, Trump's going to end the world. This is going to end the world. Like climate change is going to end the world. It's like they need to take a real look in the mirror and just think about how much they've made the world worse for so many people.
I mean, there's always been doomers, that's
Not at the level there is
not
now,
at this level,
man.
but I'm saying that is like a natural condition. I think in some people is just to be in the face of everything being like the best it's ever been, to be like, yeah, but just you wait,
I know.
just you wait, and you go, but it's pretty good.
Doomers are at an all-time high. There has never been doomers like this.
We got the best doomers.
They're the most doomed. This is a whole host of mental conditions related to climate change. So they've created an entire economy around this
Yeah.
thing. They have climate grief, environmental melancholy, and pre-traumatic stress disorder.
What? Pre-traumatic? So you're just like, what if the trauma never comes?
Pre-traumatic stress disorder is fucking money, dude.
I mean, I understand post-traumatic because there was something happened.
Yeah, you have post-traumatic stress disorder from fucking sucking too many posts.
Pre though.
Yeah. So this is the world that these people are living in.
What would these people have occupied in, like 40 years ago? What would their mental illness have been?
I mean,
then?
there was some climate people then, but 40 years ago, what would the crazy
war? Would they
people?
have been war activists?
I think a lot of them were on ozone was going to end the
Ozone.
world.
Remember the ozone?
Yeah.
Remember how fucked we were with the ozone layer? They don't really talk about that
The
anymore.
ozone
I
layer
think they fixed.
completely went away.
That was like the big topic of
They
the
patched it
day.
up.
Yeah, they just did. They went up there with some spackle and stuff, and they.
Do you know what?
stacked the ozone.
This is what you're forgetting. What actually these people were is they had kids and they were like crazy mothers.
Yeah.
That's what actually they were, the mother making their kids wear elbow pads when they were skateboarding. That's what they were actually doing, is
Yeah.
being like a fucking psycho church.
I had a
style
friend of
mom.
mine when I was in elementary school for like all of basically, I think, elementary school. So like, up to 12 years old. He wasn't allowed to cross the street. He like legit was not allowed to cross the street without his mom.
I had a friend that couldn't. He wasn't allowed to skateboard.
Yeah. No, he was like not allowed to cross the street. Like not even like jaywalk. Like he could not like with like the thing was blinking walk. He was not allowed
It's
to
like
go
the
on
car
his
that
own.
can't turn right and you have to take the long road everywhere.
No, he just wasn't allowed to do anything.
It's a fucking nutcase. Jewish?
Yep.
See how Jewy was the mom?
Not that Jewy.
Really?
No.
So what was her deal?
Just didn't want to, just scared. Live in fear,
Telling you, this is the real, like, it's, well, I guess like climate change is their new religion or whatever, but it's just fucked up because you go, there's just so many people that are on board. And I honestly I think the real moral of the story is, and I hate to always bring it back to this, but it's like you can get girls fucking really stressed out about everything.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, yeah, have you ever been like, okay, you ever been like driving somewhere far with a chick and then you could tell her like the engine light goes on and you're kind of like, I think the car might break down or we might run out of gas. And like, if you tell her something like that, like you'll watch that it'll stress her out the whole time. You know what I
yeah.
mean? If you kind of tell a woman like, hey, there's a chance that this
Something
car
might
breaks
happen.
down
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well, women are just more prone to anxiety.
Yeah, that's like a fact.
Yeah, right. They're just more prone, and anxiety is essentially a worry about something happening in the future. So then, yeah, I'd be like, hey, this thing might happen. In
And
the
they've
future.
spent 5 years telling them that, like, you know, they're fucking, they're dead meat. There's other, and then
and you can't even do any, like, none of your actions to combat the climate. Like, you can't even see any results.
no.
There's no results because at least, you know, my friend, his mom's like, you can't cross the street. At least he doesn't die every day.
Sure.
There's like an actual action, like there's a result here.
No, there is.
alive
There's a
still.
certain cock tease of it's the Rogaine of like being it's the Rogaine of like TDSs.
Yeah.
Because you go, if nothing happens, then you've like made a difference.
Right, exactly.
So, like, kind of is.
Like, I guess you go, yeah, we recycle.
It is the perfect one being doomed because then you go, yeah, it's because we were complaining so much that we bought us another couple of days. We got to tell you guys about something that I got boxes of and I've been taking them this weekend. I was loading up, if you know what I mean. And we're talking about Liquid IV.
Yeah.
This is a solution that you have been looking for out there. You're doing stuff. I don't even want to know what you've been up to late at night. But I'll tell you what you weren't doing. Getting enough hydration.
No, you were not.
Getting enough hydration into your system. Maybe it was a little. You weren't drinking any water.
No, maybe it's a little.
Maybe it's a little.
Hubba, hubba.
Maybe it's a little bit of hubba hubba. Maybe it's a little bit of. Whatever
Could be
you're
any of
doing.
those things.
It might have been what you were doing before that.
Yeah.
You know, if you're out there, or possibly you're just, you know, you're hitting the gym, you're working out. Maybe you're just, whatever it is, you're using all your hydration. And Liquid IV is the #1 powered hydration brand in America. It's now available in sugar-free. Years in the making, Hydration Multiplier Sugar-Free uses a proprietary zero-sugar hydration solution with no artificial sweeteners. With 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. 3 times. It's a lot of times.
A lot of times. 8
vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness. Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone. Keep your daily routine exciting with 3 new flavors: white peach, green grape, and lemon lime. And I have all of them, and I do sort of do a mixeroo.
Oh, really? I like the ones that are
You
like
just
they have
stick to
the
one?
energy drink ones. They have the
I do
energy
the-
drink versions too.
I do
like
do
those a lot.
but sometimes it'll be like later at night,
Apple.
and you don't want to get involved with
no,
it. You know what
of
I mean?
course. I mean, what are we crazy here?
Well,
What
that's
is
what I'm
this,
saying.
Crazy town.
To be honest, I have like the 3 boxes sitting there, and then I switch it up. I don't have an allegiance to one, and they're depleting at the exact same rate.
Right.
Which
Okay.
normally so you're more of a man of
Interesting tactic.
Well, I'm a man of I like to mix things up. You're
Yeah.
a consistent man. He likes the same thing, the same
Absolutely.
the same workout, burger to face. So 1 stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. The result of an extensive R&D process to perfect the flavor and efficacy. LIV combines science-backed zero-sugar technology with the brand's commitment to delicious, real flavor. Contains 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. They've got non-GMO, free from gluten, dairy, and soy. And I know the audience wanted to hear that. You know, we're not trying to get soy into the system.
No siree.
No siree. So Liquid IV actually is cool, especially you take it in the morning, get you back in the game. Real people, real flavor, real hydrating, now sugar-free. Grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier, sugar-free in bulk nationwide at Costco, or get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code BOYSCAST. We're getting you 20% off here at the BOYSCAST when you use the code BOYSCAST at checkout. 20% off anything you order when you use the promo code BOYSCAST at liquidiv.com. Who do you think is more annoying right now? Vegans or climate activists, if you had to choose?
Climate activists.
They probably took the case,
sure.
right? But I think that's why, like, vegans, a few of them have popped back up. Like, there's this mother that has her whole thing where she won't give her kid, her kid has head lice, and she wouldn't get rid of the lice because she says that it's like killing an animal.
Yes, it is. It's killing like a living being.
She's killing a living being, and she's like, you know, going on this whole thing. So the kid's walking around with head lice, and then these other parents, the kids go on the other people's houses, and the parents like, get your fucking lice kid away from my kid.
I mean, usually
and then
they
they're
get a pariah.
well, they're basically like, you should call Child Protective Services and be like, that's like one thing you would call protective services on. You go, these kids have like lice and shit.
Oh, for sure. And also, like, you can't go to school like that. Like, you can't do anything.
Also, there's the other part of it where you're like, okay, but you know you have bacteria on it. Why wouldn't you kill the bacteria? You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
Lice is where you end it, right?
Like an antibiotic. Like
You can't use soap. You're killing, living organisms on that.
Maybe they don't use soap.
I think they don't. They're fucking dirty ass hippies.
I'm definitely picturing a mom with white mother dreadlocks. Beads on the dreadlocks.
I think that was the old model. I'm telling you, I think these mothers, the new version is you picture like a Trump church lady.
Really?
No, not that she's into Trump, but I'm picturing like
Christian conservative.
I'm picturing a Christian conservative that loves Biden, and she's not Christian conservative. That's
she's godless.
The Simpsons church ladies. That's what I picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you would have used to think
Most
it would be
annoying
the
lady
hippie
of all
parents,
time.
like the vegan. Yeah.
I think 50-year-old like smug CNN mom has really sort of risen to like the most annoying like woman to me of all time.
Yeah. I wonder. Yeah. That's
Kid's fucking crawling with lice and they can't get rid of her.
But surely you can't think that a lice can feel pain. Like it's like a single lice. It's like not even an ant.
Yeah, this is a fucking psycho lunatic.
Yeah, that child is gonna grow up to be like literally like work for the Republican Party or something.
100%.
Yeah, they're gonna go the opposite, like carnivore diet, Jordan Peterson nonstop when they're like 15.
Pure carnivore diet. There was pretty good. Like it's always funny with because like obviously like there is actual real economy stuff right now and it's like not doing so hot. Mm-hmm. And then basically the New York Post has an article where this goes, sex workers complain sales are down as inflation continues to pound the economy. So it's kind of like that thing, women most affected.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Strippers most affected.
Yeah,
prostitutes most affected.
Prostitutes most. The sex worker, Jenna Love, Sydney, is an Australian-based escort, and she's currently watching her industry adapt to these financially strained times. But the funny part is, this girl wasn't that hot, and it was just like every comment was dudes and be like, you're the fucking body weight's the one that inflated. People were fucking not.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. I didn't want to say it. I thought
people in the comments were on this.
A little low-hanging fruit, but yeah, I mean, I guess still the fact that, her sales are down. I guess we got to see photos of. Wouldn't that be funny? She goes, sales are down. It's the economy. And then you're like, show us a photo from a year ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you gained 25 pounds.
Well, there's lots of articles coming out all the time that girls are getting fatter, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's the high fructose corn syrup or the economy or inflation.
Something.
Or interest rates.
A spokesperson for the Sex Worker Foundation. That's what you think. I wouldn't want to date a girl that she was fucking
the
head of the Sex Worker Foundation. Australian Sex Workers Association confirmed that the sex workers are feeling the pinch. They're in the cost of living crisis. The spokesperson for sex workers says that they're more vulnerable positions. But do you think that the sex workers would represent like the Gigolo Foundation? That's what you need. The fucking.
I would be. Well, it would be funny if
to kind of come out.
The Sex Worker Foundation was run by just like a bunch of pimps. Like that's like there was like no chicks. It was like all dudes.
Well, it's basically the guy version is a 300-pound guy being like, no one's paying for the dick anymore. He's like, yeah, before the economy fell, the dick was flying off the shelf.
Yeah, it was. And now we can't even give it away. Thanks, Joe Biden.
I got the perfect piece and I can't even give it away thanks to Joe Biden. Girls should be lining up around the block for this piece. The times are tough in the sex worker industry. You think the Dancing Bear is saying that? I used to be doing 3 bachelorette parties a night. This is the perfect cock. I don't know what to tell you.
Have you seen in the Bronx? There's a whole uproar in the Bronx because there's like all these prostitutes are just like out in the streets there. Like they're going back to off the internet. Like just like
I've seen videos of people posting
walking the streets.
Yeah, I've seen videos of people.
I wonder if they're just like, yeah, the money you make on the internet's just not there anymore. So got to go out and. But like that's like everybody's complaining because
they got to go brick and mortar.
They got to go brick and mortar.
That's there. Yeah. They have to go back from work from. They have to do their work from homes over.
Yeah, no more Zoom handies back in.
Well,
the
I guess
office.
if you think about it, there's obviously like employers are saying that the productivity's gone down from work from hire.
Oh yeah.
Pimps must definitely think their productivity's been going down from work from hire.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's crazy like that. We're like you'd think we'd be past that of just the street walking prostitute.
Well, I
in New
told
York
you, I
City.
think the reason why you're not past it is because you don't want, most guys want like a fake identity if they're getting a prosty to some degree, right?
Right, but don't you
Like all the prosties have made themselves so professional that they're just like, they want dudes to give them their like ID and
yeah,
check
their
their
social
check their
security.
socials and stuff like that. And guys are like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So it's like the guys got forced to go back on the streets to some degree too.
But there's so I don't I guess but there's then I don't 'cause there's always the sting,
guys used to-
sting operations though, right? You got to like you ever watch Cops? They always do those sting operations, right?
I don't know,
Although I guess
yeah.
they do them in the thing too.
I guess there's no, they're worried
They're
about getting
doing
sting
them,
operations as well. I feel like a lot of those sting operations, they let the
We
guys
should do
walk,
for
though.
so Bugman versus Bugman 3, episode 3. We should both.
Who's the best sex worker?
Yeah, we should both run the track.
I thought you were going to say run the train.
No, work on the track. That we'll both like have to dress up as prostitutes. And
We
see
dress up as
who-
prostitutes.
who gets-
can get a sale?
who gets the most money. Like you have 12 hours to raise the most amount of money as a male prostitute in the Bronx.
Okay. I mean, you only get dudes. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
What would you wear? You have like sort of like something
I think
skimpy on?
I think I'd yeah, I would skimpy wig. Like I'd pretend to be a woman, obviously. I don't think I'm going to make any money looking like this. I would definitely have to be trans.
I think the trans people make bank, man.
Do they?
I think so because like if you want to be into trans people, most of them are prostitutes.
They are. I mean, there is a high amount of prostitution.
They've
if
got
you're trans.
There's the amount of them prostitutes is cooking pretty high.
It's tough to get a regular job when you're trans.
Yeah, you're either Starbucks or prostitutes.
We went to this like when I was back in my folks' place. We went on Friday night to this karaoke place. Not karaoke. It's like this bar by my parents' house. It was like just like super dingy like dive bar, and they had karaoke. And there were a lot of trans people there actually, which is weird for like Burlington.
That is
Singing
strange.
karaoke. Yeah, it was.
That is surprising to me.
Yeah, but I don't think they're prostitutes.
We got sort of affordable.
At least they didn't charge me. So
The cops did charge him though when they busted him. Right? They got sort of a For the Boys article. The scientific reason men sleep with women and never call them. And there's two parts of it. One is it is funny because they did science to say that like
they did. Yeah,
they basically, it's like a girl magazine, right? Mamma Mia. But they basically are doing science to sort of explain the post-nut thing.
Yeah.
But it's also sort of like a rationalization for like any girl that's like any girl that anytime the guy smashes and doesn't call him again, there's like, it's actually
Yeah,
science.
it's not your fault. It's just biology. Don't take it personally.
But I think it works for dudes every which way you want to slice it.
Of course.
But yeah, so anytime a girl says that, it's like, oh, why don't you want to like talk to me anymore after you send her, they're actually sort of like putting articles out there now being like, yeah, the dude has no choice. His bodily fluids are out.
Yeah, he has to,
Well, there's another reason that I was, that I did
It's just,
my own
it's the
research.
path of least resistance a lot of times.
Well, do you know the main reason, because they're saying there's the scientific reason that men never call women after they have sex with them. And the reason turns out scientifically that they're married.
Yeah, the science.
The
The science is settled there. That's settled science.
The
right there.
scientific study was done, and it turns out that 40% of those men, the reason is because they're married and they gave you a fake name.
they don't have a burner phone.
One of the reasons that men have sex with them and never call them again, because what happens in Vegas is supposed to
Yes.
stay in Vegas.
Correct. My wife would be very upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the scientific reality is I'm having my stuff thrown out the window. And,
My not being able to see my kids anymore.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's just funny that they had to write an article for that though.
Ask a woman if any of them have been ghosted, and they will put their hands up. There'll be a stampede.
I mean, guys have been ghosted too though.
Yeah, people
Is
get
this much of a
ghosted.
study though if they only pulled women?
Well, they're saying that girls get ghosted more. You're right. Girls get ghosted.
Yeah, but was there a male control?
I think there
group,
is a
or-
part that girls get ghosted more because girls only date, or they're always dating up, like, that thing. I've been
Yeah.
loving lately that there's a lot of girls that have posted those videos. They go, where are all the men that don't have any hoes? It's like, it seems like all these guys, and then all these people are like, oh, well, this is how it works. Like, this is 60% of men are here, and then you're here, a 6, and you're going for 8s, and then there's all the other 8s going for the 8s, and then all you and your own 6
of
going for
course.
the 8s. So the other guys are all what you think is below you, and you don't respond to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And it's just like explaining to girls how the thing works and making graphs and stuff to explain it to her. And it's like super funny because it's like, this like 7 out of 10 girls being like, all these guys, just have all these hoes. It was like, yeah, because to them, that's what you are. You're like,
Yeah.
they're not going to marry you. You are a hoe to them. And the guys that you're going for, they can like keep fucking you around because that's like what your dynamic is.
Of course, yeah. You need to settle if you want to. Like, settling is always the answer for everybody if you want like more.
They're not going to do it though. They do not like settling. That is in the female mantra of like I deserve X.
I know. And then life has a unfortunate way of telling you otherwise.
It's the I should. It's like it's there's just everything. It's the feminine mantra, whether it's guys or girls, is very. It's all. I should be making this much money for this wage. This is how much they should get paid. They should have this. I deserve this. And it was like, what is that based on? It was like arbitrary.
Yeah, my beliefs.
If you think you deserve it, you deserve it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, guys are the same. There's, how many guys are like, yeah, I'm like only 10s for me. And like, well, you've been on Tinder for 4 years and you haven't matched with one girl.
See, I don't really know that many of them. Do you know any friends? Do you have buddies that are like, I'm only 10s?
No, but guys who are just like, I got no luck. I can't meet a girl. And you go, have you tried slumming it?
Yeah.
They're just like, man, dating's rough. Can't meet anybody. You go, show me who you're trying to date.
Yeah.
And then you see the photos. You go, yeah, less than that. Try less than that.
But the problem for dudes is, this is the only thing that I'm arguing with you on this a little bit, because the thing for dudes is, they are getting turned down by the guys that actually are their level a lot of time. You know what I'm saying?
But girls, you're saying.
Because that's the thing.
Yeah, but again, yes, but this is still somewhat arbitrary to say they're on their level, because there's factors that are not just looks. There's like status and all the stuff that you have to maybe compile together to make a true score.
So I know what you're saying, but this is how you have to look at it. So you're saying the banging market.
Yeah.
The banging market, the banging a lot of girls market, you are correct that a girl that's equal of them is lower than them, right?
Yeah.
But if you were to pair everyone up and you go, everyone's in a relationship, everyone's married now, they would now be paired with someone that is their level, right?
Sure. So I'm more of a free market guy.
On the casual sex market, they are less, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to dating, who they eventually will marry, generally probably will be
But those
closer to
markets
what they
overlap,
deserve.
though. Like, that's an overlapping market to a degree.
Well, they overlap in the casual sex part.
Like, how many people
but they
start off
can't
looking for
overlap.
casual sex and they go, we got married.
Yeah, so as people start to pair off,
Yeah.
like, what I mean, they can't overlap because there's the same amount of men and women.
Obviously, from that. Although people can date multiple people or whatever, but that I understand.
So
I'm just
girls
saying,
are
like,
saying-
look, if you say I'm a 7 and I'm trying to get 7s and no 7s you're matching with any, you can't go on any dates. Either you're not a 7. Like the market is telling you, like, you're not. I don't know. You might think you are, but you're just either misreading it, right?
In the banging, well, there's the banging market and the married market.
Or whatever.
That's
Yeah.
all the
So
stuff.
even if you separate them, even still, you're like, you're overvaluing yourself.
But in the market, in the married market, if there are people. So there's 3 things happening, because there are people that are overvaluing. Like, there is a guy that's a 7 that thinks he's an 8, right?
Yeah.
But I feel
Everybody is generally
I don't
that.
know a ton of those guys. Like, most of the guys I know are banging chicks that are kind of in their league. Like, I don't actually see a ton of that. You just see them kind of,
Yeah, but you don't know what they do behind.
because I don't think guys have a problem with banging way lower than that.
Of course.
They just don't wife it up.
Yeah.
That's kind
true.
of what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
So, because
for sure.
the
I'm just talking about the people who are saying straight up, like, I can't meet anybody. Like, period.
those guys do exist. Yeah.
Yeah, and they go, I can't meet anybody. You go, there's somebody. There is somebody there. You just think you're above those people.
You have to go a lot lower than you. If you're
Yeah, and probably you could go too low and you're like, oh, this is too much. Like, there's too many chicks here. There's like, you're at the bottom of the ocean floor and you go, there's too much down here. Like, I want to come up a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
But even
There's an equilibrium. Like, this is Econ 101, I think.
there isn't in the dating market, though.
In the dating market.
Because it's not
there's
one-to-one.
Right, because not one-to-one, right.
So there actually isn't an equilibrium, right?
Yeah.
So there is an equilibrium in the, like, getting married market, which is what most people get married.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at some point, the guy that's banging all the chicks generally gets taken off the market. Yes, some of them stay, but
Some of them
eventually,
stay, yeah, but eventually they get taken off.
eventually the guy, takes his condom, bronzes it, hangs it up. They do the
Put some hot sauce in there, bronzes it.
It is one of life's cruel pranks.
Well, yeah,
That no matter how good you are at banging chicks, you generally at some point hang up the condom.
of course, yeah,
Your favorite condom, right?
your favorite.
Well, so you spend all this time getting rich, getting appealing to women till you can have your choice of the women, and then as soon as you finally do, that's when they take it away from you.
Oh, cruel world.
It's a cruel world.
Yeah.
But so eventually it does fucking, settle back down into monogamy.
Yep. But anyways, if you're struggling to find someone,
So your advice for a dude, you're basically saying,
or a
listen,
woman,
if you're a dude that's a 7 out of 10 and you can't bang chicks, like,
well, but again, the idea of what these numbers even mean are different too, because that guy could be like, okay, I'm only swiping right on 7s to be fair, and then someone else would be like, those aren't 7s.
I just think you're making up scenarios that don't exist. Like most guys that are 6s and 7s, you swipe on fucking whatever, and you might just put a girl in late night bone category.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying some guys are out there saying like, I can't meet anybody, and I think what happens is you go, your standards are too high. They aren't swiping on everybody. They're like, I'm kind of picky, and you're like, yeah, you can't afford to be. I don't know what to tell you. You don't have the option to be picky right now.
Because these hoes are only banging fucking basketball players now. These bitches be getting flown to Miami.
It's part of the game.
Well, it's part of the game.
It's all part of the game, I mean, go to Eastern Europe or Asia, if you want to. Passport bros, remember?
Passport bros, dude.
Bro.
You got to get the mail order, dude. Mail order is fucking nice.
That is the new mail order. You're just picking them up instead of having them shipped to you. Yeah, it's takeout. It's just the pickup system.
This is a mail order bride. It was actually a takeout bride.
It was a takeout bride.
Takeout. Well, anyway, they're doing the scientific reason for that. This girl had a pretty funny one. It's on this. It's sort of my other thing because I was like, it's obvious people have done that sort of math on it where it's like, girls banging all sorts of guys. It just like kind of helps. It helps the top dudes or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But they said why smart women date multiple men at once.
Yeah.
And this girl's trying to make a case for you should be talking to 3 men at once or whatever, right?
Sure.
But it was making me laugh. I'll just tell you the thing. But they go, I was never very good at playing the field because I lacked the confidence to juggle several men at once. But then she basically, now she figured it out, and her reasons are when you focus on one man, it limits your opportunities to find your ideal partner. It sends man a subliminal message that he'll have to work to win your heart. And she's trying to make this whole case for why it's good, right? Mm-hmm. And it is do whatever you want if you're just dating. But this is, to me, the women will never beat us at this game. It's like you're trying.
It's just we're genetically.
This is them saying like beat men at their own games,
of course.
And it's like good luck. You know what I mean?
It's just a different game.
You're trying to play silent treatment with a mute, my friend.
Yeah.
The idea that you're going to be out there and be like, oh, it'll actually make him, if you actually sort of show him that you're talking to other guys, it's like, yeah, immediately you're in that category. And for the rest of your life, you go,
oh, yeah, you can't. I mean, first off, you don't tell them. You don't be like, hey, just, I'm talking to a bunch of other guys.
That's what she is proposing.
That's fucking crazy. Guys aren't doing that.
No, she's proposing the girls do that.
Yeah. But I'm saying guys are not like going to chicks be like, yeah, I'm going on a date with some other chick tomorrow. But if you ever.
No, because guys are better at this.
Of course. Well, you're like, that's crazy to say that.
This is all of.
You could maybe keep that like the idea like out there that maybe that's happening. You don't admit to it.
Duh. But women can't do anything without it being like accepted and validated.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't like feeling like they have sort of like we don't talk about that. Mm-hmm. They need to be like. That's why, like, they need all their friends. If they're dating like 3 guys at once, they need all their friends dating 3 guys at once. They need blogs saying it's the move. They need it like the guy to like. They can't play this game. You know what I mean?
No. This is they're out of their depth here.
They're out of their depth,
big time.
And that's why all modern dating advice, or relationship advice, has been to women like be a man.
Yeah. Yeah, if you
sometimes
can.
Actually get surgery to be a man.
I mean, look, I'm sure there are some chicks who are very like masculine energy who can actually do this, but these are outliers. This is not good advice for your average woman.
Legitimately, whatever, yeah, fine. Obviously, use any technique if you're good at getting people.
Yeah.
But this advice right now is legitimately like a girl would come up to you and be like, just so you know, like I'm dating other people. And you go, every guy would be like, yeah, that's fine. And then in your mind, you just turned her from 10 p.m. to 1 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're like, there's no PM. There's no PM at all.
Yeah, you're from,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No,
you're
AM
You're in the
at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're now in the AM category.
Oh, yeah. You got,
we're never gonna be any sort of communications during the PM.
you literally, all that happens is you just got switched to AM. Because the bottom line is that men actually want, like, probably for the most part, like you.
Yeah, you're not gonna turn guys off. Exactly.
It's
you're like, oh
yeah, it's good advice to always have sort of 2 or 3 guys you're talking to for the rest of your life. Sure. But if you actually were trying to date a guy, which obviously she is, because she's like, it's actually better for dating.
And she's like, I'm smart. So it's like, that's another thing. I'm smart chicks. This is what we do.
Well, it's like, yeah, because you're forgetting that. Okay, if you're a dude and you're like, hey, I'm like talking to 3 chicks at once or whatever, right? Not that you tell her that, but if she gets the inkling, it didn't like lower you in her mind. And maybe to some specific girl it would, but generally she's like, it probably makes you kind of seem like cool in some.
Yeah, and she's like probably a little more competitive about it. Like she might.
Yeah, but if girl doesn't get any extra points, you lower. Like if a girl's like, you just get put in a hoe category.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's terrible advice. Thanks,
Thanks,
worst, Mama Mia.
It's the worst advice they've ever given.
Over.
Flaunting it.
But the thing is, I will say this is the type of advice where women, if they're not too totally cooked, like they'll try this once and they're like, oh yeah, that doesn't work at all.
Yeah, telling the guy that, I mean, I have like had girls on the roster that were like, you know, a chick that was kind of like all her thing was being honest or whatever and talking about guys. And it's like, honestly, it just feels like, it feels like grimy. Like it just kind of like grosses you out. It's like a girl burping or something.
Yeah.
Like it's very like unbecoming of a woman to be talking about that shit. But like, I have had ones and you're just like, yeah, like obviously you're just like a hoe to me or whatever. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, this is it'll be this and that's that. And
but it is, yeah, it's like a girl fart in front of you. It's like, yeah, maybe I wouldn't like leave, but you're just like, this is strange. I guess, I don't know.
Crushes a fucking beer can on her head.
Yeah,
right.
It just seems kind of off, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
What are you doing?
But they'll learn. They'll learn if they're paying attention at all. They'll learn very quickly that Mamma Mia is not their friend.
I know. They definitely will learn that. I think that we should mention that you had probably one of the biggest wins of your life, Sam Bankman-Fried going down.
Yeah, you fucking rat Jew bastard.
So how you feel about that? What's been happening? What's going on in Danny's world? How you been feeling? The post-game Danny interview, has justice been served? Are you feeling good?
He's just has bail revoked, which it's curious because he had a $250 million cash bail that got revoked. So people are like, are they gonna like take that $250 million? Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's gonna happen because it's like I think it was like the dean of Stanford or something put up a chunk of that, something crazy. Anyways, but yeah, he's in like that MLC Brooklyn jail or whatever, New York jail. I think the one. I don't know if it was the one where Epstein was at, but it's the one where like Keith Raniere was and Shkreli was there.
Okay.
Shkreli was tweeting
him advice.
Shkreli was loving it. Oh man, he was tweeting all about it.
Shkreli doesn't like him?
I don't think he has any feelings about him other than like, hey, this is just like what to expect.
Okay.
But dude, he had, I don't think we ever talked about it, but there was this like recent crypto coin thing called like Bald coin that got announced, and then it was like a giant like rug pull where basically whoever did it sold and it was like stole like $15 million, and then people went and started tracing it, and they were saying that it was Sam Bankman-Fried who did this rug pull like scam coin.
It was more and more with this guy, eh?
Yeah, and like because I guess he was doing it from his like parents' basement, but he did all this crazy stuff like witness intimidation. He tried to release that Carolyn Ellison that co-CEO.
The witness tampering was crazy. What was he doing? Just like having
he was like not allowed to use a VPN. He was not allowed to use any sort of disappearing messages like. And I guess he was doing like Signal with like disappearing messages. They found out about all this stuff, and so now he has to just. That's like, remember when recently they're like, oh, they dropped some charges about some campaign finance stuff, and they're like, oh, classic, he's gonna walk. And I said at the time, I'm like, these are just like some whatever charges. Like he's not. I've never been in the camp like he's gonna walk or whatever. But yeah, I mean, he's now awaiting trial. I think he's gonna go to jail for a while. He's going down. He's going like. at least 20 years probably.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's fucked.
That's
But
a big win for DP. I love to see it. I
I want to
seeing
fight
you
him.
get a
Though.
win.
I want to fight him like
I know.
creator clash.
You need to do a thing where you like do a weekend in jail just to get.
I got to
to
break
him.
into the jail.
Break into him.
Yeah.
You organize it with one of Skrelly's boy that you get a shank and then you sort of fucking tune him.
How
up.
good would that be?
You're taking this body up.
I should write that screenplay. We gotta break into the jail.
Breaking into the jail.
Fuck that guy.
Okay, we're gonna cook over to the patreon.com/theboyscast every week, new episode. We got a big guest coming on next week too.
Yeah, we do.
Also, a journalism professor claims that children should be exposed to genitalia, so that's among other things we have to talk about.
Yeah.
On patreon.com/theboyscast.
Sign up
every week.
Bugman 2. We're
Peace.
very close.